What's up? Hello, everybody. I can't even talk. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. It is Monday, fun day, October the 13th. And happy Columbus Day to all of you. Yes, happy Columbus Day. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. Mine was really short. I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining at all, just to be honest with you. But I did have a short weekend. And my weekend consisted of me doing a lot around the house and, of course, doing stuff at the church, which I don't have no issues with. It's just, time just goes by really fast when you're having fun like that. So anyways, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you so much for tuning in. So I want to talk about what's happening when it comes to President Trump. And, of course, the Democrats are saying that President Trump is a king. Did y'all notice that? It's the liberals that are calling Trump a king. It's not Republicans calling Trump a king. It's the liberals. Liberals calling President Trump a king. And the reason why they're saying that, because they have a No Kings rally coming up. Now, the last time I looked, the United States of America, we have president. We don't have a king that leads our country. Last time I looked. Now, if it has changed and I'm not aware of it, by all means, y'all let me know. Y'all let me know if it has changed and that all of a sudden we have kings. Because I'm not aware of us having any kings. But the liberals, the radical leftist lunatic liberals, they all look at this. Oh, no kings, no kings. They see Trump as a king. And that's the reason why I created my thumbnail with this right here. Let me put it back up on the screen. Liberals don't see a president. What do you see? I see President Donald J. Trump. That's what I see. But for some reason, even when liberals look at this picture, they don't see a president. They see a king. I mean, really, the liberals see a king when the rest of us see a president. I see President Donald J. Trump. If you can't make it up, you can't make it up. Now, President Trump, he gets on Air Force One and he makes a trip over to Israel. And they welcome him with open arms. And actually, if we were looking at Israel, let's just say 1,000 years ago, and someone like President Trump showed up to Israel, you would think a king has shown up, right? We don't call them kings today because we elect our officials. President Trump is our elected official. President Trump won the 2024. So he's back in the White House and he's going around the world doing miraculous things. Which makes me, I want to bring up a point. Maybe 3 years now, I did this video and it was like a 7-minute short documentary that I did. And I was talking about President Trump. And this was when President Trump was in office the first time. And he went to the United Nations and he told the United Nations to all of their faces. And they didn't like it. Even the Democrats didn't like it either. But he told all of those at the United Nations that the United States of America will always be a sovereign nation. And he was saying, I encourage all of the other nations in the world to keep your sovereignty. Do not basically cave into this one-world globalist system. They all got mad with him. And a lot of people still don't even know this to this day, that when President Trump made those statements, President Trump couldn't even leave the United Nations building before Nancy Pelosi went before the television and said, okay, yep, this is it. We're going to impeach him now. We're going to impeach him. And I thought it was really odd because I never forget it. It's so vivid. I'm sitting there looking at President Trump and man, he was nailing it at the United Nations. And then on the other channel, because I would flip through the channels just to see what they're saying, just to see all the lies that the liberal left media would say. And Nancy Pelosi came up. Breaking news. Nancy Pelosi, she's standing there and said, okay, we're going to impeach him. And they had to make up something because see, before then, they kept pressuring Nancy Pelosi to bring up articles of impeachment against President Trump. She was the Speaker of the House at the time. They controlled the House. They didn't control the Senate, thank God, but they controlled the House. Well, Nancy Pelosi said, okay, we're going to impeach him. It's because of what President Trump said at the United Nations. See, they never anticipated President Trump going back in. And when I created that short documentary about 3 to 4 years ago, now I can't remember, don't hold me to it. I put that out there and I showed President Trump showing up to Saudi Arabia. He showed up to Israel. He showed up to some other nations right there in the Middle East. He showed up in India. And also in the documentary, I put in there that he went to North Korea. And everywhere President Trump went, they welcomed him with open arms. They act like a king was coming. This is how they were acting. Now, of course, we know President Trump is our president. But a lot of those people, because they live in that environment, when a leader like President Trump shows up and they have the horses, they have the band, they got everything going on. Have y'all ever seen Aladdin? You ever see that movie Aladdin? You know, I didn't watch the people version with Will Smith, but I saw the animated. I had little ones then. And I watched the animated version, and when they said the king showed up, or the prince at this case, the prince showed up, Prince Boo. For those of you that watched the movie, you know what I'm talking about. But Prince Aladdin, he shows up, and it's like, and the genie made him look like a prince and had all the trumpets and everything going, and the confetti was flying everywhere, balloons. It was just like it was a grand old time. President Trump shows up, and it's like the same thing. They're throwing this for President Trump showing up. And now that President Trump has done the miraculous thing in Israel, he shows up in Israel. It's just like, oh my goodness, this dude is just like, he's unbelievable. This is how they're reacting towards President Trump. And again, President Trump is our president. The Demoncrats here in the United States of America, they see President Trump as king. They do. How many conservatives, Republican, Christians, MAGA extremists do you hear call President Trump king? I mean, really, how many do you look at President Trump that way? This is not even a trick question. I truly want to know the answer to that. How many of you look at President Trump or refer to President Trump as King Trump? How many of you do it? I don't do it. I refer to President Trump as President Trump because that's what he is. He is my president. He is our president. And that's how I view President Trump. But these liberals, they don't do that. They can't do that. They have to look at President Trump as a king. And the reason why they do that is because they have to put it in the minds of people that President Trump is trying to be a king. And he's never have done such a thing. He's never done that. So they're trying to make President Trump look like he's a king. So then people will reject President Trump as if he's trying to be a king. And we already know that that's not the case. But they can't help themselves. Well, let me show you President Trump where he showed up. And this is like the equivalent to my understanding, to, the United States of America Congress when showing up. This is theirs, right? I forget what they call it, the Knesset or something like that. Don't hold me to it. I apologize. But President Trump shows up, and I just want y'all to see how they are reacting to President Trump showing up. Watch. You see this? Look how they're reacting to President Trump showing up. I mean, they're actually showing mad. You know what? The reason why they're doing this, showing President Trump mad respect like this, because President Trump has done the unthinkable. President Trump successfully got all of the hostages that the leftist Hamas group was holding. Did you hear me? I'm going to say that again. President Trump has done the unthinkable. He successfully got all of the hostages that were being held by the leftist group known as Hamas. He got them all back from them. All of them. All that are alive have been returned. So just imagine the Demoncrats, they don't like this. They can't stand this. Oh my goodness, there's something else that President Trump has done where the entire world loves him. Now, weren't they all constantly saying ceasefire, ceasefire, ceasefire? Weren't they all saying that? Last time I looked, all the Demoncrats, all these pro-Hamas Palestinian terrorists that are marching the streets of America was talking about ceasefire, ceasefire. Not just here in America, but around the world. Ceasefire, ceasefire. Now we have a ceasefire. President Trump is there, and he said there's no rockets in the sky. You know, nothing's happening. It's like really peaceful. Isn't that what they were calling for? They're not happy. And they're still not happy. And it kind of makes me wonder too, because there's a lot of people that I had no idea that hated Israel as much as they do. And these are people that I thought were, completely conservative, MAGA Republicans, love the truth, was completely against the wokeism, and they hate Israel. And I'm like, what is this all about? And they take people because somebody from Israel, per se, somebody Jewish, done them wrong. They just look at the entire nation of Israel as bad. They don't care. They don't care. It's really bizarre to me. And there's a person I knew in California. He used to send me messages constantly, bombarding. And he had my cell phone number, and he would just constantly send me stuff, just mad because I would not reject Israel, because I believed in what God's word said. Just get mad at me. And I'm wondering, and these people, these same people, they were out there saying, yes, let's go Trump. We support Trump. We support Trump. I wonder, do they still support Trump? I'm just kind of curious. Do they still support Trump? So it's like they're straight up siding with the left now. I just wonder. And I really don't even see the videos any longer. And the guy I'm talking about, he doesn't send me any more text messages. He got so angry with me. He got so angry with me that he started getting to the point where he was threatening me because I would support the Bible and what the Bible said. He literally got mad with me and was threatening me. And I'm like, dude, why are you so concerned about who I support and what I believe? And he goes, well, because you have a voice. I mean, have you not seen the censorship that's taking place? Have you not witnessed that? I mean, just because President Trump is in office doesn't mean they've all of a sudden they've stopped doing the censorship. They're still doing it. Look what they're doing. Look what they're doing. Well, listen to CNN. CNN, I can only imagine CNN is upset about this too, because this again puts President Trump in a positive light. President Trump, not King Trump, but President Trump. Puts him in a good light. They don't like it. They can't stand it. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is terrible. For them, of course.
There was this banner that was displayed on the beach in Tel Aviv, a giant thank you, just to kind of speak to the moment, Sarah, of what kind of Israel is bracing for right now, as the president's expected to be here. He's only going to be here for less than 5 hours on the ground in Jerusalem, but he'll be speaking to the members of the parliament. He'll be meeting families of hostages and hostages themselves, and partaking in that as we see him also standing alongside the Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu.
So, look at that. Thank you. They're saying thank you to President Trump. And the Demoncrats, they refuse to say thank you to President Trump here in America when President Trump is bringing safety and security in America. Let me give you an example in D.C. where President Trump put the National Guard on the streets of D.C. Have you heard of any crimes coming out of D.C. since President Trump has done that? I mean, really, it's to the point in D.C. that Mayor Bowser is like, yeah, we need to keep him here as long as we can. DC is one of the safest city, if not the safest city in America right now. DC. Especially when they had multiple crime. Safest city right now. So I can only imagine CNN seeing this up there, and I'm surprised. I mean, they're talking about it, right? They don't like it. They don't like it. Here's another one. And that was same woman here talking. President Trump called nasty woman, Caitlin. And listen to what she's saying here, because she, again, it's like they're having to say something positive about President Trump, and they don't like it. They don't like it.
And welcome back to CNN's breaking news coverage, as we are covering a historic moment here in Israel, because for the first time in 2 years, over 2 years, 738 days, Hamas holds no living hostages in its captivity for the first time. First time
The leftist organization Hamas doesn't have any Israeli captivity, any Israelis in captivity that are alive. First time in history. They don't look really excited about it, do they? I mean, look at them. They're like, oh man, this is terrible. This is terrible. They're not. This is really, it really is a historical moment. And to go back what I was saying earlier, talking about the little documentary that I created about 3 to 4 years ago about President Trump going around the world doing miraculous things. And even during that time, President Trump was nominated for 7 Nobel Peace Prizes. And they're never going to give it to President Trump because it just goes against everything that they believe in. Well, the reason why I did the documentary, because I wanted to point out the fact that I believe when President Trump went to the United Nations the first time and was saying United States of America will always be a sovereign nation, the Democrats couldn't stand it. Nancy Pelosi went up behind the camera, like I mentioned, to impeach President Trump, to call for it. This was the first time she did it. And it was because I believe the Antichrist is alive and well on the earth. See, the Antichrist wants to be the one to get recognition for bringing any peace. Now, I think that this peace that was happening right now in Israel is beautiful. I think it's going to be a short term, just my personal opinion on this, basically because what the Bible says. That's the only reason why I'm saying that. Would I like for it to see it continue? Sure. Why not? Who doesn't want peace? I mean, we all want peace. But I think personally it's going to be short term based on what the Bible says, because the Bible tells us that when the Antichrist come on the scene, the Antichrist will go into the temple and declare himself God. And then will be like a, sudden destruction and all that. But before that, maybe the Antichrist before then will bring peace, right? And a lot of liberals think, oh my goodness, it must be President Trump. Well, this is the liberals that don't never read their Bible. The Bible clearly tells us that the Antichrist will come from the European Union. He will be a political figure from Europe. The Bible tells us this, right? So the left, they don't care. They just see President Trump as bad, orange man bad. And I believe, like I mentioned, the Antichrist doesn't like to see this either. And that's the reason why the Democrats went after President Trump the first time. So they're going to have to do something to try to prevent this. And for one of the things that they're trying to do to prevent this is the No Kings event that they have coming up. Well, anyways, before I get to some of that, I want to share this with you. Look at this. This is in Tel Aviv. Here's another sign. This was in the evening. Thank you, Mr. President. See, they know that President Trump is our president. They don't call President Trump King. Thank you, President King or King Trump. They're not saying thank you, King Trump. President King Trump. I like that one. President King Trump. But they don't call him King. They call him President. Only the liberals, the Demoncrats, call President Trump King Trump. They're the only ones that's doing that, right? President Trump has never come out and said, I'm gonna work to be king so I can be here forever. He's never done that. He's never said those words. The Democrats put that out there to get people to believe the nonsense. But this was in Tel Aviv, right? You can see the vehicles going there. They're going. I can't even read what's in the red next to it, but nonetheless, they put that on there and everyone knows to see the big, beautiful shot of President Trump. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you for looking out for our people as well. Thank you. Thank you. And how many people are upset about this? I mean, I don't know why people are so bent up and just so worked up. Oh, Israel, Israel, Israel. They have this deep hatred for Israel. And also the Bible tells us in the last days that the entire world will come down on Israel, except for one nation, except for one. And in the Bible, it refers to that nation, the bird with eagle's wings. That's the only nation in the Bible that says will come to the aid of Israel. Just that one. Have you ever known of a nation that is represented by a bird with eagle's wings? It's not even a trick question. In the last days, it also tells us, like I mentioned, that the Bible tells us that the world will hate Israel. Look at all these people that hate Israel right now. I mean, it's really, really, put it like this. There are Israelis that are complete, total liberal. 100% liberal. It's pretty disgusting, really. I don't know how they're liberal. And the way I think about it is just like black people supporting Demoncrats. There's a lot of black people that are Democrat. I don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense. Liberals supporting Jewish people, supporting liberalism, supporting the Demoncrats, it doesn't make sense. Just like black people supporting Democrats, doesn't make any sense. These leftist organizations hate Israel. These leftist organizations hate Israel. These leftist organizations hate black people. But if they can use Jewish people, they're happy to do that. If they can use black people, they're happy to do that. So then what end up happening is that this whole perception goes out there that these Jewish people that are liberal have a certain tendency. And then these people that hate Israel look at Israel through the eyes of these liberals. They're looking at liberalism, right? They're looking at them with their eyes on liberalism. Same thing with a lot of people look at black people with the eyes that they're looking at them like liberalism. Do you understand what I'm saying? Not everybody black is liberal. Not everybody black is a Democrat. There's a lot of conservative black people, just like there's a lot of conservative Jewish people, but they don't want to acknowledge them for some reason. And some of these people that hate Israel that much, they don't even want to acknowledge black people that are conservative, that love this country. They don't want to. It's a deep hatred. Don't get it. Which brings me to the king, King Trump. Let me show, for those of you just joined, because I know Facebook, they don't ever allow you to see my thumbnail that I created. Liberals don't see a president. What do you see? I'm asking you right now. For everyone that is watching, that they're allowing to see right here on my page, if they're letting you see it, what do you see? Do you see a king or do you see a president? See, I'm telling you right now, liberals, they don't see nothing but a king. I see President Trump, of course, along with myself there. But I see President Trump. Liberals, they see a king. And I almost don't, okay, if that's what y'all want to do, if y'all want to see President Trump as a king, then by all means, see him as a king. Doesn't hurt my feelings, to be honest with you. Well, talking about a king, I want y'all to listen to what Bernie Sanders has to say about the No Kings event that's coming up October 18th. Just a Saturday. I plan on going. And I got my Jesus is King shirt. I already ordered it. I got it. It's in the wash. I would show it to you, but I already ordered. So I want y'all to listen to Bernie Sanders, because Mike Johnson just last week, he went on, I forget what show it was on, but he went on a show and he was saying that the Demoncrats are holding the country hostage, the government per se, with this shutdown until after they have their anti-American hate America rally. Because that's essentially what it is. President Trump has never said that he wants to be king. President Trump never said that he's striving to be king. And when President Trump talked about a dictator, be a dictator for a day, he said for a day, knowing good and well he was trolling these stupid liberals. Really. But anyways, listen to Bernie Sanders.
No, Speaker Johnson, the No Kings rally on October 18th is not a hate America rally.
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is. Speaker Mike Johnson is 100% correct.
A hate America rally. In fact, it's quite the contrary. It's a love America rally.
That's a bunch of
It's a rally of millions of people all over this country who believe in our Constitution, who believe in American freedom, and are not going to let you and Donald Trump turn this country into an authoritarian society.
Really? That's so rich coming from him. When he is the socialist, that's so rich. Don't all these socialists want authoritarianism? I mean, because think about it. Once they get it to the point to where they can tell you what grocery store you can go in, when they can tell you what health care you can have, when they can tell you who can and who cannot live in your home, when they can tell you what you can and cannot believe, is that not authoritarianism? This is exactly who Bernie Sanders is. See, Bernie Sanders, he was designated to win over Hillary Rodham Clinton in 2016. But the Demoncrats didn't want Bernie Sanders. And part of the excuse, from what I remember, is that because he was a socialist. They said America's not ready for a socialist. So they put him to the side. And on top of that, they kept saying it was Hillary Clinton's turn. We don't care what the people want. It's Hillary Clinton's turn. When I lived in California, that's exactly what happened. I remember that day I woke up doing a primary for the Demoncrats. They had already given it to Hillary Rodham Clinton before the first vote came in. And Bernie Sanders was piping mad. He said, this is not right. This is not right. Everyone should be able to have a vote. And talking about suppressing votes. I mean, what happened in California? Hello? Bernie Sanders was mad. They gave, I think that rumors has it, that they gave Bernie Sanders some money and told him to shut up. And he did. He shut up.
It's a group of people who are disgusted that you and your friends want to double healthcare premiums in this country and take healthcare away from 15 million Americans.
Illegals. I wish they would get that part right. Just get that part right, then we can talk.
The right to protest is what America is about. You are not going to stop us.
No one is stopping anyone from peacefully protesting. But the Democrats don't know the concept of peacefully protesting. They really don't. Have y'all seen these ICE facilities? Do you think that's peaceful protest? No, it's not at all. It's not at all. Well, here's your favorite guy, Robert De Niro. Robert De Niro. And you know what's really kind of sad is that Robert De Niro is a good actor. Yeah, I said it. He's a good actor. He is. I've seen him in multiple movies, and he was really good in those movies. But in the real world, he's just a nut job. It's just a nut job. And I realized a long time ago when I lived in California that most people that are in Nuttywood, Hollywood, they believe doing right things, fighting against actual tyranny, fighting against trafficking of children, fighting against drug trafficking, fighting against corruption. See, those in Nuttywood, Hollywood, they believe that it only exists on the big screen. In their mind, that's not how the real world works. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? I realized that years ago. They don't believe doing what we want, the right thing, leave children alone. They don't believe that actually exists in the real world. This is the reason why they don't have a problem with all this demonic stuff happening in the real world, because they're all about it. It only belongs on the big screen. That's it. Well, listen to him as he's talking about no kings. And again, we have a president. They want President Trump. They call President Trump king. We're not calling him king. They are. And listen to this. He's going to talk about history.
The original No Kings protest was 250 years ago. Americans decided they didn't want to live under the rule of King George III. They declared their independence and fought a bloody war for democracy. We've had 2.5 centuries of democracy since then, often challenging, sometimes messy, always essential. And we've fought in 2 world wars to preserve it. Now we have a would-be king who wants to take it away, King Donald I.
King Donald I. Wow. King Donald I. Again, I've never known for conservatives, Christians, Republicans, MAGA Republican, MAGA extremists, any of us to actually refer to President Trump as King Donald Trump, unless we're trolling, of course. Unless we're trolling. But we all know President Trump is our president. And they see President Trump as a king. They see him as a king. Look at that. Listen to him.
Now we have a would-be king who wants to take it away. King Donald the First. Fuck that. We're rising up again this time, non-violently, raising our voices.
You hear this? You hear that part right there? Let me take it back really quick. Right there. He says they're rising up this time, non-violently, right? Non-violently rising up. Rising their voice, I guess. Non-violently. I never have gone to a conservative, Republican, Christian, MAGA Republican rally event, and they have to tell us that we're not going to be violent. We're not going to be violent. We're not going to give them what they want. We're not going to be violent. We show up to these events already in the mindset of no violence. We like to peacefully protest. The left, he has to put it out there. See, this is him telling everybody, don't be violent, everybody. Don't be violent. Why do you have to tell your people not to be violent? Because they're violent. That's why. The left, they are the violent group in America. Let's be honest. Let's keep it real. It's not Republicans. It's the left. Look at the ICE facilities. I need to remind you.
Violently raising our voices to declare no kings. I'm Robert De Niro asking you to stand up and be counted in the nationwide No Kings protest on October 18th. Visit nokings.org to find, volunteer, or host a protest near you. We're all in this together, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Really? Indivisible with liberty and justice for all? Really? He actually just said that. They don't want liberty and justice for Republicans, Christians, MAGA Republicans. They don't want us to have free speech. I mean, this is what you call a total hypocrite. 100% hypocrite. And then I don't know if this was one of their events where they have the American flag up here like this. These Democrats don't care about America like that. They really don't. They want to burn the flag. They said the American flag represents oppression. They said America represents oppression. They don't care about America like that. As far as I know, this is the stock footage that they just put in there. Because I don't see any other special flags in there. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Those other flags of the alphabet people. Because anytime there's an event, they have pro-Hamas, pro-Palestine, Hamas terrorist flags, and then they have the alphabet people flags, and they have all the other ones that are anti-American. They fly those flags all the time, and I don't see any of those in that picture. So this leads me to believe that this is stock footage that they just went in there to try to make it look like they're all about America, and they're not. They're not at all. Not at all. So this Saturday is the No Kings event. And I plan on being there. And I know the last time they had one, it was right down the street from me. It was right down the street from me. And I was like, okay, I got to go. I mean, it's being this close. I've never had an event where I could basically walk to it. Never had an event where I could basically just walk down the street and walk to the event. So I went by myself last time. And of course, I'm the only one there at this anti-American, anti-Trump rally and anti-God event protest that these leftist lunatic liberals were having. And the reason why I can say it was anti-God, because when I'm there and they're saying, no kings, no kings. And I said, Jesus is king. I had my MAGA phone. Jesus is king. And they go, no. I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. So it is an anti-American, anti-freedom, anti-God event. And they're labeling President Trump as king. They're the one doing it. So I went last time and they were just really mad. And they, every now and then they'll push on me and they'll scream at me. They'll call me certain names and stuff like that. And and they'll get it to where they'll get close to me. And every now and then they'll punch me in my side a little bit. They punch me, like give me a little jab, whatever. Especially the ladies. Like the ladies, I let the ladies hit me. I mean, I don't, the ladies hit me and I just kind of like look at them, And the men, I give them one time. You get one time. You get one. Because it might have been the accident. But the ladies, they keep hitting me. Okay, it's a lady. What am I going to do? Right? I mean, it is what it is. But I'm not afraid to go by myself. And I started realizing that in the past, and people would tell me, oh, yeah, I'm going to the event. I'll be there with you, Will Johnson. And my experience in the past that people would never show up. They would never show up. Because, why? Because the left is violent. The left is 100% violent. If they're not wanting to be physically violent, they'll be verbally violent. Right? You can be verbally violent towards somebody. But ultimately, they want to be physically violent. I've always experienced it, but I've always gone because I step out on faith. So this Saturday, I plan on going, and I'm really thinking about probably more likely I'm going to go to the one at the Capitol this time because people have told me, we'll see if it's going to happen, that they're going to drive up, people that are here in Texas, and they're going to meet me at the Capitol. Now, I'm not going to be mad if they don't come because a lot of people, they get fearful because of the radical left, how violent they are. And I get it. Like I said, I get it. Like I get it. It is for me, I can't speak for anybody else, but it is a leap of faith. It's me stepping out on faith, and it's me trusting and believing in our Lord Jesus Christ to send his angels to protect me. I've always been that way. And people have seen me throughout the years where I step out and I'm in really hot, heated locations, and God has always protected me. Now, I don't do this to go out there and try to test God. That's not my objective here. I go out there and I do the will of our Father in heaven. I don't go out here and be nasty with these people. I don't go out there and threaten these people. All I want to do is have a conversation with people and then just show it to the world. And if they're doing something so positive and they have such a positive message, shouldn't they want to share that with the world? But they don't want to. A lot of times they go, well, we know what you're going to do. You're going to take it and you're going to edit it to make us look a certain way. That's the beauty of it. I don't have to edit to make you look a certain way. You can do all that on your own. I want to show how you are. They want someone to edit it to make them look good. And I leave it unedited. And because I do that, it makes them look bad. And that's how it works with them. I mean, because you know how they did Kamala Harris. Remember how they edited to make her look good? If you left it unedited, it made her look bad. Hello? Does anyone understand that? Anyone understand that? Stephanopoulos. Remember, they had oh my goodness, they actually lost the lawsuit against President Trump because they edited to try to make her look good because the unedited made her look bad. It's the same thing when I go out and talk to these people. So if you are interested and you do live in the state of Texas and you want to go out there and stand with me, we're not going out there, right? We're going out there just to have a conversation, just to have a conversation. I'm not saying that the left is not going to be violent like they are. I'm not saying that because they typically like to get violent. I'm just putting it out there. And so that's what I'm saying. I understand when some people say, yeah, I'm going to go, and they don't go. So I just made it always a point just to not depend on anyone to go with me. You know, I just made it that point. And besides, because of the way the censorship is still happening on YouTube and Facebook, where I have most of my followers, and a lot of those people do watch that are in Texas, they're preventing people from, watching my video feeds. They're preventing it because they don't want people to support anything that I'm doing. which brings me to my website here, uniteamericafirst.com. You like this one? I voted for this. I voted for what President Trump is currently doing. I voted for the National Guard. I voted for the ICE. I voted for the tariffs. I voted for everything that President Trump is doing, and he's actually delivering. And actually, President Trump has gone above and beyond my expectations. President Trump is really doing it. So if you want to help me out, support me, go to my website, uniteamericafirst.com. You can see it right there. You can click on shop merch. You click on that and it'll take you over to where I have my t-shirts, and you'll see my Jesus Saves t-shirt right here. You see that right there. Jesus Saves right there. Beautiful. Or Jesus Save. I have one that said Jesus Save. This one is Jesus is King. And I'm so glad I have it ready for this Friday. But for those of you that can't make it, and we still like to support me, by all means, please go to my website, uniteamericafirst.com. Pick up one of these beautiful t-shirts. And also this one here is a really beauty. And this is Trump is your president again. You see that? Trump is your president again. And I had to go ahead and advertise it with the black guy on there because, just because of liberals. But, there's a white guy there too. I don't discriminate. So uniteamericafirst.com, or because some people say I've actually had someone say, Will, I have enough t-shirts. Is there a different way that I can support you? Because, a lot of people, I get it. Some people don't want to, buy another t-shirt. You can just right there, you can see the different ones. You got the gold, you got silver, gold, platinum, and diamond if you want to support me that way. Or just go over, click on the donate tab, you're on a mobile device, and you can see the different options, like the one time right there. People still use these. Thank you. God bless you. Or my physical address. There's my physical address right there. And ever since I've started doing this and someone would email me or someone would mail me something in the mail, I've kept every single envelope and letter and card, postcard. I've kept them all. Every last one of them. I'm going to put them in the non-presidential will library. You know why? Because when I first received it, I said, wow, this is really amazing. What a blessing. People send me blessings through the mail and letters and postcards, like I said, and I've kept every single one. Because for me, it's history. And I like to think maybe one day I will be part of history, showing that me being who I am, that I actually stood up and I talked for our country, spoke up for our country. The Demoncrats don't want me doing that. They don't want any of us doing it. That's the reason why they don't have any issues silencing conservatives. They don't. So please, if you would, go to my website, uniteamericafirst.com. Oh, really quick. For those of you that wanted to do it, that didn't do it, or forgot about doing it, if you can go back over to my website really quick, uniteamericafirst.com, while we're here really quick, and could you please, I don't know if I can bring it up here. I'm not sure why it's not working. Oh, there we go. If you could, go to my website. And once you get to my website, right there at the top, scroll down a little bit. Help me reach President Trump over big tech tyranny. It's a letter that I wrote to President Trump. I already put it in the mail and I sent it to him. I'm hoping it gets to his desk. But, President Trump gets a lot of information coming to him. So hopefully by the time when he comes back from his overseas Middle East tour, that he will see the letter. And who knows, if you help me out, if you download this, print it out and mail it to President Trump, it just might be your letter that reaches his desk. It might be your letter that reaches his desk. And you can see right here, I just put in it. This is the top part right here. And you just sign it because you're endorsing it. That means you're helping me out. I'm writing on behalf of Will Johnson, a fellow American whose voice and livelihood has been unfairly silenced by big tech. Please help him in his fight for justice and fairness. Below is a letter he sent sharing his story and urgent plea for action. Best regards. You sign it, and you can see there's my address again. There's the President Trump's address, and here's the letter that I wrote to President Trump. So please, please go there, read it, print it out, put it in the mail. It might be yours. You might be the one that make it there, because I'm going to ask him. I'm going to ask him. If we get 100 people to send it, he will see the letter. So I will ask him, who letter got your attention? And I most definitely will let you know. So please, please do that. UniteAmericaFirst.com, right there at the top of the page. You can see it. Help me reach President Trump over big tech tyranny. And of course, it's President Trump. It's President Trump and not King Trump. Okay? Not King Trump like the left says. It is President Trump. President Trump. But liberals, they see something else. Okay, everybody, that's it for me. 1 hour, just over 1 hour from right now. Go to Culture Wars. You'll see my Culture Wars show. It's going to be really explosive. I'm going to share some more stuff there that you haven't seen. It's going to be really explosive. 2 o'clock on the East Coast time. 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock Central. 1 o'clock Central on the East, or 2 o'clock on the East Coast time. LFA TV. You can go to my website, UniteAmericaFirst.com, and you see it right there at the top. Culture Wars. Culture Wars. All right, everybody. God bless. See you on the flip side.